On January 7, 2026, a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent shot and killed a 37-year-old Minneapolis woman, identified in multiple reports as Renee Nicole Good, also cited as Renee Macklin Good, during a federal immigration enforcement operation in South Minneapolis. The incident took place amid a large-scale Department of Homeland Security (DHS) operation, part of an intensified immigration crackdown in major U.S. cities, including Minneapolis. The death has sparked outrage, protests, and deep political division, particularly in a city still rattled by past confrontations between law enforcement and community members, competing narratives. What has made the story a flashpoint is highly conflicting accounts of what led to the shooting. Federal government/ICE narrative. DHS and ICE officials, backed publicly by President Donald Trump, argue the ICE agent acted in self-defense. They claim the woman's vehicle was used as a weapon, attempting to run over officers during the enforcement action. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem described the driver's actions as tantamount to domestic terrorism. Local officials/critics narrative. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz have highly disputed the federal characterization. After reviewing available video footage, Frey said the self-defense explanation was bullshit, arguing the videos do not clearly show an intentional attack on officers' lives. Local leaders, civil rights advocates, and community members say the woman was fleeing or attempting to avoid the scene, not actively attacking officers. Protests and public reaction. In Minneapolis and beyond, the shooting has triggered protests and unrest. Demonstrations erupted in downtown Minneapolis, with some locations seeing confrontations between protesters and federal agents. Schools in Minneapolis canceled classes for safety as tensions soared. Vigils, marches, and calls for ICE to withdraw from Minnesota have spread to other U.S. cities. Many residents, activists, and observers are drawing parallels to past incidents of police violence in Minneapolis, including the killing of George Floyd in 2020, further intensifying emotions. Investigation and legal controversy. The FBI has taken over the investigation and, controversially, blocked Minnesota state law enforcement, the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, from accessing evidence, raising questions about transparency and local oversight. Governor Walz has expressed concern about the fairness of a federal-only investigation, and there are growing calls for independent review. Meanwhile, Vice President J.D. Vance and other federal officials have stated the ICE officer enjoys absolute immunity, meaning he cannot be prosecuted under state law for actions taken during his duties. National implications. The shooting has quickly become a national flashpoint in the broader debate over U.S. immigration enforcement. Supporters of the Trump administration praise the aggressive enforcement and defend the agent's actions. Opponents argue it reflects an overreach of federal power, potentially endangering civilians and inflaming racial and political tensions. The polarized narratives reflect deeper divides in U.S. politics about law enforcement authority, immigration policy, and the role of federal agencies in local communities.